Hey everyone, I'm going to be uploading another video now. I just want to go ahead and say thank you to Crypto440 for helping me out and doing me a solid. He was able to go ahead and repair both my Mini Doge 3 power supply board as well as my KD Box Pro connector. They both burned up this past week, and he was able to get them fixed pretty quickly and sent back to me. I know that he did post a video of him fixing both of these boards online to his channel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do the reassembly process really quick to show you what it's like to put one of these back together. So if you give me a minute, we're going to start out with the Mini Doge 3, which is located right over here, and I'll be back in a minute. All right, so I wanted to go ahead and actually clean up the space a little bit so I could show you what we're doing here. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start on this side here. There is a screw right here in the middle that I'm going to take out. And then on this side, we're going to take off these screws here, these here in the middle, and then these down here at the bottom. Once that's all done, I'll be able to pull this plate off. We'll pull the board out. Then we will go ahead and screw this guy back onto the top of the board. And for anyone who's wondering, this is my WatchX that I went ahead and purchased not too long ago. So it's been working really well. I do plan on doing a really short update video on it here soon. So in the meantime, why don't you guys tell me what you guys think of crypto mining in the comment section. I know that right now, if you look at the charts and everything else like that, the market is all over the place and showing more bullish signs and everything else like that. But I think if you take into consideration that people are going to be selling when they, like right now, this is the best time to potentially start accumulating some of the more stable coins. But obviously that's not financial advice. Me personally, I have a very small bag of a few coins, and I'm looking forward to trying to get more. So we've got one more screw to come off, and once this last one comes off, we'll be able to get the board out of there and get the power supply PCB board put back on, which is going to be great because then we can get this guy up and running again, which I'm excited. It's been a couple of days since it's actually run. So there are some stuff rattling around, flopping around on the inside, but that's just because of the Wi-Fi dongle that's right there. So as you can see, I did keep the board intact, as well as having the fan still connected. So right here at the very top, you can see that there are two Phillips head screws. We're going to go ahead and pull these two off really quick, and then we're going to reinstall this board. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and take this guy, flip it over like so, and it's very important that we get these guys right here lined up properly with those pins right there. That way we don't run into any kind of issues and or potentially bend pins or break anything. And then once you get it on, show you slide right on into place there. All right, so right now we're off by a set of pins there, so I have to slide it back a little bit. So let's do this. There we go. And the best way to tell that we're good, those bolt holes right there, they line back up. So in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and start both of these screws again. And we're going to tighten them down just enough so that way they're good and snug. You don't want to over torque them because you could potentially damage the board, and we're trying to not damage the board. So nice and snug. All right. And now that that's all back together, we're gonna go ahead and take this guy and slide it back into the housing itself. All right, so up here at the very top and at the very bottom, there are some grooves. You can sort of see that we're in the top one there. The bottom one, I don't think we were in. So let's make sure that we slide in the 2 grooves, because that will keep everything stationary. Once it's in, it's pretty simple. You just go ahead and slide everything back on, and then we can go ahead and start by bolting everything else down. Now, for me personally, I like to leave this open for a little bit and come over to the other side and start this screw right here. The reason why I like to leave it open is it allows me to go ahead and push in on the board just a little bit to make sure everything lines up. And then once we get this guy seated, then we can go ahead and flip it over to the other side and get this other plate put back on. All right, so looks like we're all good there. Me personally, I always start out in the middle and work my way out. That's part, I'll do a part to the fact that I used to work on cars for a living. And when you're torquing things down in the automotive industry, you start out in the center and work your way out. That way you don't over torque or warp anything due to the way that the components are being torqued down. And that goes back to the fact that you want to make sure that the device stays the way that it's meant to stay without it being damaged. So, and it's just nice to make sure that everything goes in nice and smoothly. Also, you don't want to torque anything down until you are sure that everything is started properly and lined up, because what ends up happening is it'll get really tight and something's not lined up properly. You'll cross-thread things. Cross-threading things is bad because then you're not going to have the right kind of torque and stuff like that. So should be nice and smooth going in. I've watched many other YouTubers out there take apart their devices, and it's been pretty interesting. And truth be told, the first time I took one of these apart, I was actually pretty afraid of doing it because I was afraid I was going to mess something up. But I had confidence in myself, knowing that I've been able to take things apart, fix things, and get them working again properly over the years, based on the automotive industry and what I used to do. So it's nice and simple to just have a couple things just to take apart, put back together. I would love to learn more about these devices and how they're built and all the functionality on the boards and stuff. So I'm working on trying to figure all that out and learning that stuff as well. I think what we'll do is I'll go ahead and actually do this as two videos. One is going to be on this guy right here, the Mini Doge 3. And then the other one I'll go ahead and I'll do on the KD Box Pro. That way I don't, run this way too long. But right at this point, we got all the screws started. We can go ahead and finish torquing everything down. And once again, all you need is to make sure it's nice and snug. You don't want it too tight because you can rip the threads out of the component itself. So we don't want that to be the case. All right. Now the final thing is going to be putting the little Wi-Fi antenna back on. And then powering this bad boy up. Now I do have my power supply right down here really quick, so let me grab this and let me connect the power supply to it. This is actually a GPU rig power supply. It's rated at 1800 watts, which is significantly more than what this device needs to run properly. But we're gonna go ahead and fire it up really quick just to make sure